All tricks and all treats and no tricks, actually. That's what we want this Halloween, right? As kids get ready to do their best costumes, we want to make sure that kids are safe. So to talk with us about it is Safe Kids Northeast Florida, to make sure your family is having the time they deserve this year. Well, joining us now is Danielle Carlino. And first off, good morning. Thank you for being here.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
So we know Halloween is right around the corner, and a lot of parents are concerned about the kids' candy. So what are some warning signs parents should look for when they're actually checking their children's candies?
So there are certain things to kind of figure out for Halloween because there's a lot of safety tips to know. So Halloween is one of the busiest nights, and kids are actually twice as likely to be hit by a car on Halloween. So we really educate on that pedestrian safety first. But if you notice anything sketchy with the candy, you're going to want to make sure to analyze that and encourage your child to come home and make sure they go through that with you. If they see any kind of red flags, and make sure they stick to those normal paths that they usually stick to. Try not to cross the street as much and figure out that route with your child prior to Halloween.
And let's talk a little bit more about, pedestrian safety, making sure the kids are seen. Is there anything that the kids should be wearing, maybe any reflective vests while they're out trick-or-treating?
Absolutely. There's a ton of different things you can do, and especially that reflective tape, reflective stickers. We have a bunch of different things that we even offer here at the center. We have these reflective strips. We even have these, as well as reflective bags. So trying to enact any type of reflective gear makes those kiddos so much more visible to the drivers. It can even be an overwhelming night for the drivers. Kids are darting out everywhere, so it's really important to be able to be safe and be seen as much as possible and trick or treat with your kiddos until about 12 years old.
And speaking of the 12-year-old trick-or-treaters, I mean, I was definitely trick-or-treating till I was at least like 14. So we know there are going to be some kids out there by themselves. What advice do you have for parents who are sending their kids off solo?
Absolutely. Always stick in groups as much as humanly possible. And again, try to make sure they keep their devices down when they're crossing those streets and just making sure you stay safe and trying not to cross the street as much as possible. Trying to cross at those corners as well. You're going to want to make sure that they're safe. And really, the key thing is sticking in those groups. You don't want them trick-or-treating alone, sticking to routes that you know.
Awesome. And what would you say is the most common misconception for parents when they're sending their kids off for trick-or-treating on Halloween?
I think there's a lot of different misconceptions, but I don't think that the danger of Halloween night is fully kind of understood. Again, just like we said, kids are twice as likely to be struck by a car that night. So really important, especially for drivers too, even if you don't have a little one that's trick-or-treating, making sure you're taking that extra time to double check when you're backing out of your driveway, following those speed limits in those Halloween kind of trick-or-treating zones, and making sure you're staying safe at all times.
And is there any other safety risks that parents should watch out for that you recommend?
Absolutely. In Florida, I think everybody knows how prevalent golf carts are. A lot of golf cart trick-or-treaters. So making sure you know the Florida law is 14 years of age to operate a golf cart, but also making sure there's only enough people on that golf cart that there are seats for or seatbelts for. So just driving them really safely.
Really insightful information. Thank you so much, Danielle Carlino with Northeast Safe Kids Florida. It was a pleasure having you.
Thank you so much.